Could you imagine making an entire film based off of a typo? Well, someone already did that, and it's called VELOCIPASTOR.
There's surprisingly little demand for hooker doctor lawyers.
This beautiful piece of art exists because back in 2010, then film student Brendan Steer was texting a friend when all of a sudden his phone autocorrected Velociraptor to VELOCIPASTOR. So he made a fake trailer for his film class, and it performed so well that he turned it into a nearly full-length, action-packed movie. After 2 failed crowdfunding attempts, all hope seemed lost. But then some GigaChad private investor gave him $35,000 just to make it happen. And that's what we're gonna watch today. And hey, would you look at that? It's rated X by an all-Christian jury. So you know we're about to get sacrilegious. So we start out with our main character, Doug, or Pastor Doug, as his appropriate title. And he's dropping some straight Christian fire on a fresh Sunday morning. Look at him. That's the face of a guy that's gonna have his parents for the rest of the movie.
Mom and Dad!
Just kidding. I don't know what you expected. You're the main character in VELOCIPASTOR and you need a tragic backstory, so fuck your parents. Also, just gotta say, these film special effects are top notch. If I didn't know better, I would assume they actually set a car on fire in that scene.
So your parents died, Doug. It's what parents do.
So then Father Stewart does what any good friend would do and gets him drunk and tells him to go have a white boy summer abroad.
Travel. But to where?
So after a hefty opening sequence, Doug goes to
Go where you think God will not follow.
China. Yep. China. It's a small enough country, so I get why they didn't clarify beyond that. He finds himself in a forest where a woman is quite literally killed at his feet.
Oh my God! Are you hurt?
Oh my god, she's gonna be fine, dude. It's just an arrow to the heart. Give her some Advil and tell her to walk it off. Have your white boy summer.
Dragon warrior.
So she mumbles something about a dragon warrior, whatever that means, and then gives him this tooth claw thing and then immediately dies. Nothing like using your last few words to be cryptic, am I right? But then this klutz just scratches himself on it and immediately passes out. Oh, did you give yourself a little boo-boo? Did you touch yourself a little bit? Did you not bring Neosporin on your camping trip? No sympathy. I have no sympathy. He wakes up back at home in his bed, which is just so kind of the ninja that was just about to kill him, just to send him on his way back home. And it looks like his white boy summer is over. But one thing's definitely weird about him because he is hungry. Now, just in time to set up our B-plot, we meet Carol and her pimp, Frankie Mermaid, who is just a saint. Why is his name Frankie Mermaid? Well, I'll let Carol tell you that.
'Cause you're swimming in bitches.
Yep, because he's swimming in bitches. Later that night, Doug seems to be having just the worst case of food poisoning out in the woods. Meanwhile, some Oblivion NPC tries to mug Carol.
Your money or your life.
But little do they know she has divine protection from a literal Deus Ex Machina, which if you don't know is just fancy writer speak for plot convenience. And in proper Jurassic Park fashion, he eats the mugger and saves the day. Now that's a costume. You want to talk pure terror? Have that conversation somewhere else. I can stare into those Beanie Baby eyes all day. He wakes up back at her place, no doubt with a full memory of what happened last night. I'm being sarcastic, I don't think he actually remembers anything.
Hello, my child.
Last night was amazing.
I don't know what I'd call watching a velociraptor eat your would-be attacker, but I feel like amazing is kind of underselling it. Anyway, they have this whole conversation where he thinks they boinked and she's talking about him turning into a literal velociraptor.
I was very scared. I think I even peed myself.
You know, simple excommunication.
The time you turned into a dinosaur and ate someone.
When she finally tells him he transformed into a dinosaur, he defaults to rejecting dinosaurs completely outright, because we all know those are a myth, like dragons and income tax.
What?
But she's like, nah bro, you wanna see a dead body? Well, put on this dress, we're going for a walk.
Oh.
So she shows him the body, and after a conversation, he finds out that she's a hooker and immediately wants nothing to do with her.
Touch not thy sinning hands!
You guys talk all the time about helping people. This might actually be the first time in your life you can.
But she makes a very compelling point, and he agrees to use his powers only for good. Later, as he's in church listening to confessions, no, not by Usher, silly. No, the thing with the little divider in the middle where you get to tell the pastor all the bad things he did. But on the other side of the wall is none other than Frankie Mermaid. I already know what you're thinking. What are the odds? But you're not even ready for the big reveal yet.
Actually, a couple months ago, this fucking old couple, I blew up their car. Actually, It was right in front of this church.
Jesus! So Doug's not gonna stand for that, like, at all.
You murdered my parents! Ah!
So that's like instant hell, right? Like killing someone's one thing, but like killing someone in a church? Like that, I don't know, that just seems like that would be a big deal. So then he goes over to Carol's to talk game plan.
How are we gonna do this?
Create rules.
Rules.
Yeah, rules!
Like commandments.
Yeah, commandments!
I mean, I could still be a priest, right?
Not so sure about that one, big guy. So then he finally tells her he killed Frankie Mermaid.
What? You killed Frankie, the Frankie
I
Mermaid?
didn't mean to.
Woo, murder! Yeah! Let's go! And then they start this montage, which is probably one of the best parts of the movie. Wait a second. Are they falling in love? No, gross, no! Get that romance out of my superhero dinosaur movie! Well, that's going on. We're gonna fly all the way over to China. Did you forget about that plot point? I sure did. And it turns out this group of ninjas been losing money because the VELOCIPASTOR's been cleaning up the streets. I'm not entirely sure what the connection is. We don't have time to examine every plot hole in this movie. So they're gonna stop him. But not before trying out a couple different evil laughs and showing us where the boom is. Meanwhile, Father Stewart's getting a little jealous that Doug's met a girl and now he's spending all of his time with her and not with me, bro. Dude, Sundays were the bros days. And now she's getting in the way of not just like our relationship, but your relationship too. With the G-Man himself. That's so dumb. I love it. Anyway, so Doug tells him about his extracurricular activities and Father Stewart, say it with me, thinks he needs to be exercised because he's delusional. Yes, thank you very much.
Wait, Father Stewart! God damn it!
See, man, this is why you don't tell people you're a dinosaur, because they'll lock you in a room and force you to think about your dead parents. But you're feeling real dumb now, aren't you? Father Stewart then takes Doug to a super priest.
Stewart. Father Jones.
There are no fathers in here, kid.
No fathers here, kid. Call me daddy.
I haven't had to come to Altair in years. Not since
I went to China.
the war.
Yeah, you know what? I was just thinking that Father Stewart needed a tragic wartime backstory. That's what we needed. And don't worry, I'm only going to show you the parts that are essential to the story. That's about it. So they continue this exorcism knowing full well the goal is to bring out the demon inside, aka the Dragon Warrior. And it goes perfectly. All right, that's a wrap on Father Stewart. So after that, Doug runs into the woods, and if you're wondering why this looks familiar, let me give you a hint. It wasn't me that reused the footage, but this time he gets ambushed by ninjas that were totally there on the same day that he was. And they're not even kind of a problem for him. But it goes to Carol's house and it turns out he got a little bit of a boo-boo. Just put a little Neosporin right on that. You'll be fine.
I'm still bleeding.
Excuse me.
And not a romance movie, just show me the action. And I guess since because sex scenes are such a staple of indie movies, it makes sense to put it here. It may as well go wherever. And this next part is an actual for real seizure warning, and I'm only putting it in so you guys see that it actually happened in this movie and I'm not making this up. So seizure warning in 3, 2, 1. Whose idea was this? This isn't even bad for this movie. This is just bad for the sake of being bad and weird. But our poor heroes only have a moment of rest before they're ambushed by even more ninjas. Whew. It's a good thing these guys are the main characters, am I right? So it turns out, Father Stewart actually isn't dead. Boom! Gotcha, fools. Look at your face. Look at your face. You look so caught right now, you gullible fools. I told you he was dead, but he actually just got kidnapped by the ninjas. How didn't you see that coming? This is so clearly a masterful subversion of expectations.
I don't understand. What does drug smuggling have to do with
I
Christianity?
was really expecting him to say, I don't understand. You've been speaking only Mandarin for the last 20 minutes, and I don't speak any. So the ninja's plan is to introduce a new, better, and more addictive cocaine, get a ton of people addicted to it, and so when they cut off the supply, more people will join the church? But Stu's not having any of that, so they kill him. Obviously. So now we're at the final showdown, and there's one final reveal that I bet you do not see coming.
Remember me now? Brother!
What? This whole time? How could you do that? How could they do that to us?
I actually do think this like flashback thing is kind of funny. Remember all those times you saw the family laughing together? Well, Sam was there the whole time in every single one of those. You just weren't looking hard enough. This poor guy's been ignored by his family, his brother, his masters, and now even you.
You're my only son.
I will not stain the sword of my ancestors with your blood!
So they fight.
For God!
For God. And things are not looking great for our boy Doug. If only he had some kind of hidden superpower, then like maybe he would be in a better position.
Be the one laughing when I kill you!
He summons the sword to his hand and reminds his brother that they do indeed share grandparents.
Your ancestors are my ancestors.
So he runs over and stabs the ground, and by that I guess I mean Sam, and he just sprays orange Gatorade everywhere. Talk about wasteful. Carol, on the other hand, not doing so hot. So now they've made Doug angry, and are you ready for this? I don't think you are.
I believe in a higher power, but praying right now will never save your life!
This is a real movie. A real movie that you can watch on your own time. A real movie that was written and shot and directed. These people were all probably paid for their time and worked probably very hard to make this guy's dream a reality. But we're not done yet.
You are the last one!
So the master tries to give one last final monologue, but I guess he's never seen The Incredibles because doing so gets his head ripped off. I guess you could say he lost his head. And now we're done. Oh, and if you're worried about Carol, don't be.
I'm fine.
She's fine.
You're fine.
I'm fine.
The first time I watched this movie, I thought it was pretty unremarkable. There's a certain charm in bad movies that try to be good, whereas bad movies that try to be bad just seem to fail at having that charm. But the more that I watched it, the more it felt like a parody of bad movies. It is a bad movie itself, but it parodies all of the other bad movies that maybe take itself a little bit too seriously, whereas VELOCIPASTOR didn't seem to take itself seriously at all for the most part, and I think there's some merit in that. I can imagine he probably wanted to do something a little bit bigger in scale initially, but given the budget he decided to go the more playful, fun, and campy route, making fun of himself. I think if that was ultimately the goal, then he kind of hit the nail on the head. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you've seen VELOCIPASTOR, please let me know what your thoughts are. I love hearing what you guys have to say about the bad movies that I watch. I know it's been a while since I've uploaded, so thank you guys so much for sticking around and being patient. And I can't wait to talk to you guys about the next bad movie I watch. Bye! Later when he's in church listening to confessions. Not by Usher. Gives him this tooth. That's such a dumb joke. Oh god. It's not even that funny, it's just dumb. Woo, murder! Ah! Mike fell. Later he's in church listening to Ugh, you're feeling real dumb right now, huh? Damn it. Just when I thought I said all I can say, my chick on the side said she got one on the... Later when he's... I hope that joke translates well.
There's surprisingly little demand for hooker doctor lawyers.